Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Abby. I own a small business called Earthly Creations where I just sort of make and sell art of all sorts of mediums, and yeah, that's a little bit about me. Today I just sort of wanted to sit with you guys and tell you a little bit about myself and how I got started sort of doing art as like a business and as a job. Yeah, so I'm gonna make some of my prints and do a little voiceover and just sort of talk to you guys. I think that's about it, yeah. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So just starting off with a little bit about myself. I'm currently 19. I'm currently in college for a media and communications degree to hopefully learn a little bit more about social media. I might be getting an art minor, but I'm not sure right now. But yeah, that's what I'm doing when it comes to school. When it comes to my art, I've been drawing for as long as I can remember. I can still remember being yelled at when I was a kid because I used to draw on my doll houses or my walls, and I was just always wanting to draw something or create something. And as I got older, the more businesswoman side of me started to come out. And my family was and is very well off, but we still ended up being pretty tight with money while I was growing up. So I never really wanted to ask my parents for money, and so I sort of just tried to figure out ways to make my own, starting from a really young age. I was sort of the girl trying to hustle in 5th grade when slime was a thing. I did lemonade stands and all of that junk. Then when I was finally old enough to actually work, which was actually during COVID, I got my permit immediately and worked my butt off for like 4 or 5 years doing the food industry. I sort of did any job I could really get my hands on. And let me just say, it really ruined my passion for like working for other people. I sort of learned over the years that I just like hate the idea of working for someone else like for $10 an hour and just like grinding my life away. That just was not something that I enjoyed, and I knew that there was something else that I could do with myself. And I figured out that I'd much rather work 24/7 for myself on my own terms, and that's kind of how I ended up here. My first actual like business adventure was making candy bracelets, which are actually mainly a rave culture thing. But I would make these really big, intricate cuffs that I'd spend a long time on, actually. I'll insert some pictures here. But I ended up making an Etsy and started to dip my toes into like the content creation world. I think I made a TikTok and an Instagram for everything. I got a decent following over time, but the niche that I was like making products for, like candy, didn't really have much room for growth when I thought about it realistically. So Candy Empires, which was the name of my first business, ended up turning into Earthly Treasures. And that was my first attempt at trying to build a brand for myself. So Earthly Treasures was really only a jewelry brand. I made a website. It was really small. I made a decent amount of money. And I started to get into jewelry making, and I learned some more skills that I still use to this day, actually. I think my website started with only like 5 or 6 different pieces that I made. And compared to Etsy, it took me a little bit longer to get customers. I did end up selling out my website a few times over the course of a year or so, which really helped keep my motivation for all of this, like, actually up. I don't think that I would have kept going with this if I hadn't seen some sort of response. It wasn't until I started college that I really started to think about what some of the next steps for my brand would be. I knew that I wanted to do something that was art related, and I knew I loved jewelry making, but I didn't want all of my time to be dedicated to just jewelry making. And so over the course of a few months, and it took a while, I made Earthly Creations, and I was thinking about the next steps for my business. I discovered printmaking, and more specifically, I discovered lino cutting. It really felt like I struck gold in a way when I started to do lino cutting, just because of how much room for creativity there is with that medium. I really love the idea of making a design and carving it, and just having a stamp that I can use pretty much like infinitely. My brain really just likes the idea that I could do so many different things. And over the years, I've seen a lot of growth with the types of skills that I've gained on this journey too, and I still have so much more to learn, of course. But if there's one thing that I love specifically about working for myself, it's sort of that you have to learn how to overcome life's little hurdles by yourself. And yes, that can be really hard sometimes, but at the same time, there's nothing that is more rewarding than getting a picture of my art in somebody's house or getting a compliment on my jewelry that I made myself. There's just something really magical about seeing the thing that you put so much effort into actually paying off. And even though right now the things that I might be doing might not be very big yet, I know that it's all part of the process and that I will see big things eventually. So, with all of this being said, if you have a passion and want to make something of yourself, whether that's through art or education or something else entirely, there is no better way than to just start by jumping in headfirst and trying. Get out there, try, fail, try again, maybe fail again, and keep doing that until you see progress. And any ounce of progress that you do get, hold on to that and use that as motivation to keep going. Because I know you can do it, and the only thing holding you back at the end of the day is you. So, I hope you guys take something out of this. But that's all for now. Alright, well, that is going to be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys were happy to learn a little bit more about me, and maybe you got some motivation to start your own business. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. It really helps me out. If you leave a comment, I will surely reply to you. I love replying to everybody in my comments. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Bye.